Shalom Israel. Before I start, I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Bahara Kadash, double honors to the elders and apostles in Israel who rule and teach well, the Akims and the Iwas and Byways and those pushing videos in truth and sincerity, to the brothers and sisters in the truth. Now, a lot of times we get on these other nations, for the wickedness that they do, but we have to remember that amongst our own people, we have wickedness as well. Right? Let me quickly bring this out before I go into this. Is Jeremiah 5:26. It says, "For among my people I found wicked men. They lay wait as he that setteth snares. They set a trap, they catch men." The point of word, it says, "Among my people I found wicked men." And I want to add to that, wicked boys, because this is an article. Yeah, it's an article. It says 12-year-old rapper Lil Rodney sentenced to 7 years for shooting 1-year-old baby. Now imagine that. Yeah, this youth is 12, yeah, and is already up for shooting a 1-year-old baby, and there's other offences. But this youth don't even look like he's 12. He looks even younger than 12. Yeah, and this is the cycle that our people get caught up into. This rap music, which don't promote nothing, but that in itself is a snare for our people. Promote guns, drugs, sex, rock and roll, as they say. And our people see these, look up to these rappers, these artists who ain't promoting nothing really positive for the youths then, or the wickedness they're promoting, seems all glitz and glamour to these youths. And our children ain't been raised correctly. Let me quickly bring this up. Because the scripture tells us what we should do when it comes to raising our child. This is one of the things it mentions. Psalms 78. Let me bring this out quickly. It says, Psalm 78:5 says, "For he established a testimony in Jacob and appointed a law in Israel, which he commanded our fathers that they should make them known to their children, that the generation to come might know them." Might know what? The Most High's law, statutes, and commandments. Even the children which should be born, who should arise and declare them to their children, that they might set their hope in the Most High and not forget the works of the Most High, but keep his commandments. So it doesn't really look like this young man here has been taught the laws of God. And that's the cycle we need to break. Yeah, us who are in this truth, this is the cycle we're trying to break amongst us by coming out of the ways that we grew up in, which doesn't really benefit us, and come back to the right path, to that straight and narrow path. So I'm just there's an article on it, but there's also a video which covers some of the things in the article. So I'm going to play the video and just read a few lines of this article. But you can see the cycle that our people are in, and like I said, so fair and well we're always getting on these other nations about the wickedness that they do, but we have to bear in mind that we have wicked men, stroke boys, amongst us as well, not even wicked women. But yeah, let me play this. Now you're 12 years old. I don't know if you can hear this. Sounds low. So, well, happy birthday. I'm sorry you have to spend it here at the correctional facility. And it's a sensory day. So, I don't put this down, right? Mr. Moore? Yes, sir. You remember this one? You take this picture? Yes, sir. Okay, I keep it here in my bag. Let me jet that back now. This is a picture. He's been in front of this judge before, and he's gotten a picture, obviously, about the judge, and then it's got, sorry, it's lucky for the language. It says "fuck Judge Kim." So he doesn't really care about the judge anyway. You remember this one? You take this picture? Yes, sir. Okay, I keep it here in my bag for a reminder. Once you put something on the internet, it doesn't come down. So you were here for probation for arson.
And that is from 2019.
Yes, so that's arson going back to 2019.
And we've had all kinds of problems. Most recently, I let you go. You come in and out. I've always let you go because you're so young. And you're 11 years old, right? So I didn't want to keep an 11-year-old in here. But every time I let you out, you just stop here. You're like, come on, you come back. Yes, sir? You said my face because I was on the phone. This is not something that you are right now. Okay. So, all right. So you keep on running away. You keep on getting back to me. And if you stay a couple days, you promise me not to cut it off. You just tried a couple times. Start coming back here. And then this last time we let you out. Mr. Spencer, was the last time we let him out? No, he cut his monitor in 8:14 this week. Okay, so about 6 weeks ago, cut off his monitor. You know, he promised me he wouldn't. So now there is definitely a new charge that was filed really back in April. That's the one where you shot the 1-year-old?
Yeah, that so his judge mentioned he's 11, but I don't know if at this time he was 12 and 11 when these things happen. But now he's talking about shooting a 1-year-old, and you have to ask yourself, like, where's he getting a gun from in the first place to be shooting anybody at the young age that he's at?
Yes, yes, a 1-year-old baby. Yes. Right. Probation for arson. He's accused of shooting a baby at 11 years old. And then we bring him back in. He's been on a run. He's smoking weed. Okay. Anything else I'm missing about him? That's about it. All right, Mr. Moore. Hey, look what I found. All right? I know.
Oh, jot this back now. This is a picture of him
Hey, look what
holding a gun. Yeah. Like, where's he getting these things from?
I found. All right?
Obviously, he's not buying these things.
I know 11-year-olds are supposed to have guns. All right? After they've been accused of shooting a baby. All right? So, Mr. Moore, what should I do at this point? Where am I at? See, this time I wasn't gonna do, but like, no, sit down, okay? No, right now. You want to watch my first neighbor? Yes, ma'am.
And she, I don't know what's getting under her bonnet anyway, because he's asked him a question, so why don't she keep quiet?
I don't know, but I just want to see because at least give me one more chance and then see if this time I mess up, you should like hold me for some months. Yeah, but didn't you say that last time? You told me to hold you for.
Now I think this is mum. When he said that, you can see she laughed. Yeah, see that?
Didn't you say that last time? You told me to hold you for a year last time, if I messed up, didn't you? Never said that. I don't remember. Well, yeah, you told me that I can hold you next time. Give me one more chance. Actually, you said that two times. I remember the last time I said, well, that's what you said last time. Why should I believe you this time? All I was trying to do is go to my friend's funeral. And I asked Mr. Spriggs, and he said no. And then I missed Jaden stuff because I was in bed. And every time I miss one of my friends.
And now he wants to cry. He's been in front of this judge a few times. The judge's been lenient on him. Yeah, he's cried the other times, and now he wants to cry again. You know, this young boy ain't gonna learn, man.
I tried to go to the funeral and my didn't let me go because I didn't know my friend last night. And then I just had to. I didn't want to know more of it. I think he doesn't understand your point. Oh, so they want guns at the funeral? Is that where you're trying to go? No, that was a long time after the funeral.
So You get the story. Um, yeah, but this is the cycle of our people, man. Yeah, like I said, we're always getting on these other nations, but we got wicked amongst our own people, and we have to speak on it. We can't just speaking on the wickedness that these other nations do. Like, there's none amongst us. This is why 2/3 of our people are going to die, not because we're some goody goody. And just like he wants to cry now, when he's between a rock and a hard place, you know, this is when he starts to think about what he's actually done. And that's what our people do. You know, the scripture says, in their affliction they shall seek me early. So when things are going good, our people don't know the Most High. You know, it's only when shit hits the fan, then all of a sudden we remember that there is a God and we want him to help us. Now this is Isaiah 3 verse 4. It says, and I will give children to be their princes, and babes shall rule over them. And this is a young youth, you know. He doesn't even look the age that he's meant to be anyway. Yeah, but he's holding big gun, you know, shooting a 1 year old. And after you shot the 1 year old, you still end up with another gun. And like I said, where's he getting these things from? It says, and the people shall be oppressed, everyone by another, and everyone by his neighbor. The child shall behave himself proudly against the nation. And a lot of these young youths today, they have no respect for their elders. You know, they're quick to run at them out, tell them how they will do this and that to them. Yeah, and that's just scripture being fulfilled. And that's because of the cycle that we're currently in. We're not willing, a lot of us don't want to break the cycle. Yeah. And the way we break the cycle is by coming back to this covenant, coming back to our power. Yeah. It says, and the base against the honorable. Now jump down to verse 12. It says, as for my people, children are their oppressors. And this youth's only a 12-year-old running around with gun, shooting babies. So imagine when, you know, if this youth's older and out on the streets, the type of things he's gonna be keeping up. It says, as for my people, children are their oppressors and women rule over them. Yeah, because a lot of these youths are in single parent homes. You know, this was mom down here. He found something he said funny. Yeah, and then where is dad? Yeah, the cycle just keeps going around, man. So this is Isaiah 3 and 12. It says, as for my people, children are their oppressors and women rule over them. O my people, they which lead thee cause thee to err and destroy the way of thy paths. And who's leading this young youth? Can't be anyone sensible, because someone's actually getting him them guns. Yeah, he's not getting them guns himself. Yeah, yeah, our people are properly destroyed, man. This is Proverbs 22 and 6. It says, train up a child in the way he should go, but when he's old, he will not depart from it. When you don't train up a child, this is the type of situations we have. Yet when you don't train them in the way they should go, which is to keep the Lord's statutes and commandments. Yeah. So it says, train up a child in the way he should go, and when he's old, he will not depart from it. Now, verse 15, because this society we're in, you know, they put rules in so that you can't even discipline your children, and then you wonder why some of the children turn out the way they are. Now, not every child needs the same form of discipline, but you know, you should have these options at your disposal. Proverbs 22:15. Foolishness is bound in the heart of a child, says, but the rod of correction shall drive it far from it. Yeah, you know. I remember when I was a youth, I took myself, ran out of primary school, and the teacher's telling me to come back in, otherwise I'm gonna call your grand, and I'm there being defiant. So when he walks off now, I've ran back in, made sure he can see me. Next thing I know, we're in assembly. I'm being called out. Who do I see? Two teachers standing up on my grand with her hand in her coat. Then all she said was, oh, so you're a big man now, you're run out of school. Yeah, and a belt came from nowhere. And I tell you this or nothing. I never ran out of school again. Yeah, so it says Proverbs 22:15. Foolishness is bound in the heart of a child, but the rod of correction shall drive it far from him. And this is what this young youth needed, man. He needed that rod of correction. You know, sure, mum ain't gonna give it to him, and dad ain't around. Yeah, so we can't even put it all down on mum. Yeah, that's that cycle that we're in. Now, this is part of the article. It says, the boy who is nicknamed 30 Shots. Now, it just gets worse and worse. Yeah. Admitted he cut off his ankle monitor to attend a friend's funeral, but he couldn't recall the friend's name. He told the judge he only knew the friend by his nickname. The boy's grandfather, who helped raise him, also attended the Zoom hearing. Judge Kim told the boy he would be detained in a juvenile detention center until he turned 19. That's 7 years. Some people have said the sentence isn't right and the boy would likely come out more hardened. Well, you say the sentence isn't right, but he's had chances and he's just stuck 2 fingers up. So what else is meant to happen? You know, they say if you can't hear, you must feel. And this is all judgment. Like, personally, he's gotten off lightly. There's some have said the sentence isn't right and the boy would likely come out more hardened. Others said they deserve it and should be locked up for longer than that. Rodney's mother, a single mom who gave birth to Rodney when she was 16, was interviewed after the hearing. And that's another problem. You have children bearing children. Yeah, and that's not even frowned upon in this society anymore. Because when I was young, you know, to see a young sister pregnant, um, it wasn't done proudly. Today, you see young children pushing pushchairs, and there's no shame in it at all. It says Rodney's father abandoned his family, and this is another issue. Deuteronomy 28 and 54, it says, so that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eye shall be evil towards his brother and towards the wife of his bosom. See, he abandoned the sister, and towards the remnant of his children which he shall leave. And he left her with a young child, you know, at a young age. So you can see why this youth turned out this way. And as long as that cycle is not broken, it's just going to keep going around in circles. Yeah, he's going to, if he's out, he's going to get someone pregnant, and the cycle continues unless you start to train up your child in the way that they should go. And don't forget, one of the options you got at your disposal, the rod of correction. Yeah, the scripture says it shall drive it far from him. So it says, Deuteronomy 28:54, so that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eye shall be evil towards his brother, and towards the wife of his bosom, and towards the remnant of his children, which he shall leave. And this is just another case of, you know, amongst my people I found wicked men and stroke boys. And this has always been happening. Oh, let me bring this out. It's nothing new. Yeah. Even back then, this is First Maccabees 1 and 11 says, in those days they went out of Israel wicked men. He persuaded many, saying, let us go and make a covenant with the heathen that are round about us. For since we depart for them, we have had much sorrows. And this is one of our problems. We look at the other nation and the way they're prospering and want to have the same thing that they have, but go by it through wickedness, try to achieve it by wickedness. And then, like I said, you got the rap music, which, you know, Esau, who runs this system, he allows us to promote these music. You know, if you're rapping about something positive, them kind of music don't really get the headlines and the front page like they should. They promote all the wicked ones, and you know. So this is why we're seeing these cycle. And for us in the truth, this is how we're going about breaking this cycle. Yeah, coming back to faith in our power, keeping the laws, statutes, and commandments to the best of our ability, and trying to pass them down to our children so that that cycle can break. But until that happens, we're going to hear of more incidents like this. You know, it's a shame, but it is what it is. Amongst my people, I found wicked men, stroke boys. So with that, I'm going to close out and give our praises to Yahweh, Hashem Yahushai, Wahara Kadash, Kwame Sha'Allah.